I'm SACHA Dornan.
And I'm Chris Gasparo. Welcome to the 6th edition of Colby-Sawyer Insights, a video news magazine written and produced by students for the Colby-Sawyer community.
Our stories in this edition include a look at changes in campus security, a profile of Eric Riedel, a report on campus diversity, and a look at the Men's Lacrosse Club. Our first story deals with the college's permanent art collection.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ellis. And I'm Mary CARKIN. Earlier this fall, students were surprised to learn that the college owns several important pieces of art as a part of its permanent collection. When many prints were exhibited in September in the art gallery, students and faculty found themselves in the company of such artists as Picasso and Rembrandt. We spoke to Associate Professor of Fine and Performing Arts, Martha Andrea.
We try to exhibit the works from the permanent collection every 3 years or so, 3 to 4 years, in the Marion Graves Mugar Art Gallery. We feel strongly about showing these works publicly because they are very good, important pieces. We think it's important for our students to see them, and I'll be talking a little bit more about other ways that the students get to view these works. But to publicly show them, we think brings recognition to the donors. It also allows people from town or from surrounding areas to come in and see some of these wonderful pieces that date back, 400 or 500 years. We have several works, I think 4 works by Albrecht Dürer, the German artist. We have Rembrandt. We have Käthe Kollwitz, Daumier, the French lithographer, Millet, Pablo Picasso. We have a nice lithograph of his. Lucas Cranach, Pierre Bonnard, Piranesi, Felix Buho, Jacques Tissot. We have Kandinsky, Lucas van Leyden, Anders Zorn, Peter Milton, and Hokusai. Hokusai being a Japanese printmaker. I think that the majority of those works were probably donated in the 1940s, 1950s. And over the years since then, we have acquired a few works every year. One way that we use the prints in an educational sense, just recently I gave a hands-on lecture for the Friends of the Library, and this was done in Alumni Lounge. And what I did is I brought over, probably about 15 good examples from the collection of etchings, lithographs, engravings, dry points, mezzotints, some of everything. The students are usually very, very excited, I think, to see these works. Generally, what we do, we study them first, say in the art history class, through lecture and through slides and through reading, and then I pull out the original. And at that point, they are very excited that they're actually holding on to the real thing, and it makes it all that much more exciting, I think, for them.
Vice President for Administration and Finance, Doug Lyons.
Okay, the permanent art collection at the college, I think of it as consisting of 2 things, a number of paintings and prints that the college owns, and also a number of pieces of antique furniture, a great deal of which used to be at the academy, but it's now been moved to a variety of places on campus. There is a photographic collection that was done in approximately 1979 of still photographs of the items that are in the Academy building, or were in the Academy building at that point. And there was a complete inventory that went along with that photo record. Then that inventory was updated about 2 years ago. Well, this office is responsible for ensuring it. The president has always taken a personal interest in the items that are part of the collection, and we display some of those items in the president's house, as well as on the parts of the campus. And the president has an interest in antiques, so she's always been interested in the collection itself.
Nancy Muller, while she was archivist of the college, compiled these notebooks that are really quite informative. We have 3 of these hefty notebooks that outline this information about about the works in the collection? Well, all of the prints in the permanent collection are stored in the art department because we use them on a daily basis for teaching and for exhibits. We use them in the art history and in printmaking. Many of these artists we are studying in class, so it's exciting for the students to see a piece by that particular individual, but also to use them as superb examples of the technique which, when viewing in slide form on a screen, does not quite do the same thing. It does not look as good as it does in real life.
The range of objects in the permanent art collection is far greater than is readily apparent to most members of the college community. Works such as those that were exhibited this fall help to give students a more realistic view of art than can be obtained in any textbook.
Hi, I'm Brooke Scarpa.
And I'm Ray Smith. When one mentions the word security on the Colby-Sawyer College campus this year, many a puzzled look seems to unfold. Certainly returning students have noticed a change, which has caused many to ponder, why did this happen?
This puzzlement created many rumors. They are what prompted us to investigate and discover the real story behind this year's new security system.
Eric Riedel, Vice President and Dean of Students.
Last fall, Marilyn Muller, who's now joined the college staff, did a survey of student and of would-be student opinions and reactions to the quality of the campus experience at Colby-Sawyer.
Marilyn Muller, Associate Vice President of Career Development, Planning, and Communications.
Security is one of the key issues that students voluntarily brought up as something that they would like to see changed. The major reason that it was an issue is that they didn't think there was any. There was a standing joke at the time that the only place you could ever find security was in Musty's. And it seemed that students had taken it upon themselves to handle security. So if there was a fist fight or something, another student would break it up. And that it had gotten to the point where, at least for the students who talked with me, they didn't bother anymore to call security. They just went ahead and handled the problem themselves.
So, a decision was made to bring in a firm to do an assessment of our security services, and also the challenge was put to the previous director of security to develop a plan whereby we could upgrade the quality of security services. To make a long story short, the conclusion was that the college would be better served by bringing in a contract firm who would cover training, essentially the professional preparation of officers, and also bring in a level of expertise that were the college to make the investment would be far more expensive for us to do independently than would be the cost of bringing in an organization that does this in a variety of other settings and is already equipped to bring our personnel up to speed. So an agreement was reached with Professional Security Bureau Limited, that's the name of the company, and on July 1, Scott Flannery joined Colby-Sawyer as Director of Security.
We've been fortunate. I've got an excellent group of people, and we continue to train them. We work in the public relations with them. We counsel with them on it. They went through a full security training program as far as law enforcement, as far as fire safety, hazardous materials, the basic security functions, physical security aspects of the security in dealing with buildings. And as I said, the public relations, where we're becoming more involved in understanding what makes a college community function. There was not a security system in place when we came in, and presently that's what is happening right now. In conjunction with myself, the resident ed folks, Greg Stone, Karen Romer, Adrian Otto, and Eric Riedel, we're piecing and putting together the parts that make this system work.
My name is Greg Stone, and I'm the Director of Residence Education for Colby-Sawyer College. What we have now that we didn't have last year is that we have securable doors on all of our buildings, and that we have changed the entry locks from the locks which certainly have been on, I believe, since my wife graduated from here in 1968, on the same buildings, the same keys, to new locks that are removable core locks, so that if a key is lost, we can take the core out, put a new core in, and give everybody new keys, so that they don't get spread all over the countryside. So we have put alarms, especially on all the fire escape doors and on any other doors that we consider mostly for fire purposes. So there's been a period of adjustment which we expected. I think some of the adjustment has come with student flow, in that the students learning to use the phones and not feeling like that was a burden for them, which they do, because of course before they could walk in and out wherever they wanted to, and that worked for most people, but I don't think it worked for everybody.
Even for me, it's an educational process, because it is very much different from what I'm used to.
And I think that Scott Flannery and his crew of officers have worked very hard in a very short amount of time to reach a level of consistency and to establish protocols so that you know, as a student, you can count on a prompt and effective response.
After we completed this story, Colby-Sawyer College gave Professional Security Bureau Limited its 30-day notice of termination.
On December 4th, Colby-Sawyer hired Oggs & Allies, the same company that handles the school's maintenance. Current security officers will have the chance to reapply for their same position.
Hi, I'm SACHA Dornan.
And I'm NICOLA LOHE. Last May, Colby-Sawyer College opened its doors to a new vice president and dean of students. His name is Eric Riedel, and this is his story.
I'm Eric Riedel, and I'm Vice President and Dean of Student Development at Colby-Sawyer College. I'm responsible for life outside the classroom, and so health and counseling services, residential education, campus activities, student well-being on virtually every front. And my biases in coming to this are that I think, well, I at least want an environment that is challenging, but at the same time supportive. And what I mean by that is that there are resources available to help people work through the kinds of issues that arise, and also that we will confront each other about such things as sexism, racism, homophobia. I think issues that are very real in our society today, that we can do that same kind of learning from each other in a caring way in this environment. And I'd like to be part of building a community that values individuals, that celebrates diversity. I think the first obstacle that I personally face is that I wasn't selected by the students and the faculty, or even any vote amongst the staff, to take on the vice presidency for student development at Colby-Sawyer College. I was appointed, and I've given my reasons for wanting to be here. I believe that Dr. Stock's reasons are that she believes that my background, what I have done elsewhere, are ingredients, elements that would be useful to the Colby-Sawyer that she envisages.
When we asked Peggy Stock, president of Colby-Sawyer College, what qualities made Eric the best candidate for the position, she commented,
I was very pleased with his experience he has. Goodness gracious. He doesn't look his age, number one. So when he was a dean of freshmen at St. Lawrence, and then he was dean at Lake Forest, and then vice president at Lake Forest, and then vice president at Bradford. So we're talking about 12, 14 years of experience at an independent institution, at small independent institutions, where the sense of community and everything happening in the residence halls is so important.
And so I'm, those are the things that are terribly important, both to the trustees and myself. I think we feel we have not only a man of competence, but a man of vision. Well, I think I've also enjoyed getting to know his wife, Anne. And she teaches here, teaches math here, and she also has a wonderful sense of humor. So, when you are with them together, you're just holding your side.
We asked Eric to tell us about his experience with Crossroads Africa.
First, the motivation for it came in my Mount Hermon school days. I really was very much affected by the speaker program that they had at Mount Hermon School. And one of the speakers was a fellow named Jim Robinson. I really found his whole concept and idea fascinating. The Operations Crossroads program sent, and that's still true today, somewhere between 250 and 300 North American college students, some high school students, but predominantly college students, to 26 nations in East and West Africa. And one works on community development projects. In my case, in Tanzania, we dug 14 foundations, put in a cesspool system, and when the climate was such that when the noonday sun was too hot, we would then tutor, the Crossroads group that I was with would tutor refugees. The school we were building is thriving today. It's called Kurasini College, and it's comprised largely of the refugees from apartheid nations.
We asked Eric how he met his wife, Anne.
It's a storybook, boy meets girl, actually older woman. She's a year ahead of me. And we met in the chapel choir. As we will still say, we think we had the world's longest honeymoon. We have 2 children. Helen is 15, Helen Elizabeth, and Richard is 11.
It was working with my dad with songs from Annie that I really got started on liking the stage and the feeling of everybody applauding what you've done so well.
Mainly I like to play sports, any type of sport, bike riding.
Well, I guess my very favorite thing about him is his system of values. He is honest and caring and loving and sincere and dependable and all the things that are very important to me in friends as well as family.
When we asked members of the Riedel family to describe Eric with one word, they said,
Wonderful. No doubt about it. Just wonderful.
I'd probably have to say exciting. You can do things with him, and he's full of surprises.
Loving. He is the most loving person I know. He loves humanity. He loves his work. He loves his family. He loves his friends. He loves life.
At Colby-Sawyer, approximately 1 in 65 students, or 2%, are non-white. I'm Chris Casparo.
I'm Diana Brown. Our definition of non-white excludes exchange students and focuses exclusively on people of color. We ask students, faculty, staff, and administration about the advantages of diversity and their solutions for the current situation.
And I'm Kathy Maycutt. Our 4th segment of Colby-Sawyer Insights will discuss the issues of ethnic diversity on campus. Assistant Professor of Humanities, Ann Page Decker.
There's so much privilege that goes along with dominance, and this is predominantly a white college. There's so much unearned privilege that goes along with white dominance and white male dominance, if you will. I just can't believe that the people of color here are totally comfortable.
Senior Dawn Reed.
on this campus it's hard to be a minority since there is such a small amount, that the color of skin does become an issue in some places.
Freshman Justin Bell.
Well, I've never really found it a problem wherever I go. I've always been one of the few only non-white people around.
Dean of Admissions, Joanna Henderson.
Okay. The percentage of minorities, it's not quite 5%, and that sounds awfully small, and it is awfully small, but it's better than it was a few years ago when it was 2%. So we're moving in the right direction. We're nowhere near where we should be. We'll continue to move, and probably not by quantum leaps, but inching along. Within this office, there is a strong commitment to find certainly people of color and international students and people who are different of any kind at all.
I do not see how a private college with as small an endowment as we have can honestly address the issue of diversity when we are still a tuition-driven institution.
Junior and resident assistant Chuck Rogers.
I think that they're being quote-unquote lazy in their effort to make this a more diverse campus. I think they're just more into the fact of, oh, this student has $18,000 to give us. And
Ron Twitty, a visiting guidance counselor from New London High School in Connecticut.
So it's very important. As I came to this campus today, I didn't see many minorities, and personally, I look for that when I come to see if there's any minorities. It's just a natural thing.
Humanities Adjunct Instructor Joseph Iwudzi.
It is beneficial, it is essential, and it is very crucial, especially for this generation and for colleges to have this experience of diversity. The earlier one experiences a different culture, a different worldview, a different perspective, the better for the person in his or her development.
Junior Banning Ostro.
I think that by having an understanding of other cultures, you get a better understanding of yourself, and you have an understanding of things around you.
I think you can only broaden what you know by looking into other people's cultures.
Executive President of the Student Government Association, Dana Healy.
With more diverse faculty, I think you might even see a more diverse student group. I think it has to start actually with guidance counselors and admissions working together a little bit closer. Right now, I know that there are plenty of guidance counselors out there that still think Colby-Sawyer is an all-women's institution.
One suggestion we did get, though, that I think is a good one, and we did actually implement it this past weekend. And one of the minority counselors who came on the last tour from Connecticut said, you should begin to bring small numbers of minority kids up to see your campus informally, just to have them look around.
Manuela Fonseca, Assistant Professor of Social Sciences and Education.
Well, I think making it a top priority is kind of step one. And from doing that, then perhaps we can look at either grants or trying to cultivate some foundation money or sponsors to target the increasing scholarships for minority students to attend.
I think that when admissions is recruiting and looking for people to come to this college, that they really need to look into the areas where there are more minorities to give these people the opportunity to come here.
This complex question is one of the many issues being considered as Colby-Sawyer positions itself for the years ahead.
One thing is certain. It's going to take more effort and financial support on the part of Colby-Sawyer if they plan to increase the number of minorities on campus, both staff and student body.
Hi, I'm Curtis Gooch.
And I'm Fred Cowan. Our final story focuses on the history of men's lacrosse at Colby-Sawyer College.
For the past 3 years, this club has been working hard to achieve varsity status.
The Indians were the first to play lacrosse as part of the preparation for battle. Now that the sport has taken off all over New England, Colby-Sawyer hopes to get their program started. They'll have to overcome some difficulties, one being the lack of facilities. Deb McGrath, Director of Athletics.
My goal in the whole process is that there needs to be at this college another game field with a scoreboard. And I look to see that happening. You know, of course, I may move and shake a little faster than some other people, but I look to see that happening in 2 or 3 years. I mean, the President's been very open about this. We've looked at the space. Just if you look at the President's house from the front, to the left of that, there is, I've already walked it. I walked it a year ago. It's 120 long by almost 70 wide. It would need some substantial grading, but, you know, the access is perfect. You walk out of Hogan, go across the street. Would the men's lacrosse club be happy for 2 years living with playing on the practice field for 2 years?
Brett Freebody, sophomore, midfielder, co-captain.
We don't really care what kind of field we play on. It'd be nice, you know, to get a game or two on the big field, on the nice field, but the other fields are just there.
Before any club can become a varsity sport at Colby-Sawyer College, certain criteria must be met.
A letter of application to me that says men's lacrosse would like to become a varsity sport. We would need X amount of dollars, so I would need to know what you think you would have as a schedule. You figure out your contest, your schedule, you figure out what it would cost you to say whether probably a part-time coach or whether that gets added into a position here or whatever. What you're coaching, figuring out your resource dollars. So schedule, coach, what facility you're going to use and be comfortable with.
Todd Miller, senior, art student, defenseman.
I feel that a lot of the administration is not willing to take the liability of having a full contact sport at Colby-Sawyer. We've only been co-ed for 3 years, and I believe that that has a lot to do with it, as well as the amount of money that's required to have a full varsity traveling lacrosse team.
Neil Kremen, junior, business administration, attackman, and co-captain.
I don't feel cheated. I just feel the process is very slow, and especially since we have proven ourselves at the club level, and we are just waiting for the go-ahead from the administration.
The team still faces the problem of finding another coach. Karen Hutchinson, recreation, and coordinator of intramurals.
Here, certainly, you know, we would look into what's available here. You know, if there's a coach here that's interested, that wants to, or not necessarily just a coach, a faculty member or staff person that has a sincere interest and wants to help out, you know, you just have to look for your resources, contact people, and see what is available to you and go from there. There are a couple of individuals that are being pursued as possible coaches.
I think it's just that our dedication is what is carrying us through right now. We are without a leader. We have no formal coach, and everything is done by the students.
Despite these setbacks, once established, the benefits of a men's varsity lacrosse team at Colby-Sawyer are substantial.
Well, I don't question the benefits, without question. I mean, I think it's a great spectator sport. It's fast, it's alive, it's exciting. The scores are more than 1 or 2 goals.
It's a game that I've loved since I was a kid. It's a very fast-paced, high spectator sport. I went to a few games as a kid. I got hooked on it right away, and I wanted to play ever since.
Eric Dan, freshman, biology, midfielder.
Just that I think everybody that watches it realizes what a quick, fast sport it is. Fastest sport on 2 feet. And the more people that watch it, the more people that come and support us, the easier it's going to be for us to become a varsity sport.
We're a pretty tight bunch. We enjoy hanging around together. Like I said, it's all our own motivation and our own dedication, and we're all birds of a feather in that, you know, we wanted this program to work, and so we pretty much give it all our energy on and off the field. We never stop talking about it. Everybody at lunch, we all sit together, we go out together, go down to the pub, have a few beers together, and
If the team can keep their commitment level together and find a qualified leader, the future looks quite promising for Colby-Sawyer men's lacrosse. And hopefully through hard work and determination, they will reach the varsity level within the next 2 years.
Thank you for joining us. For Colby-Sawyer Insights, I'm Sasha Dornan.
And I'm Chris Gasparo.
Mm-hmm.